بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear students, today we are going to talk about a very important structure in our body. This structure is responsible for sensation, what is called the neuron. But before we are going to talk about the neuron, we first should learn what are the objectives from studying the structure of neuron. Let's see these objectives. The objectives from this lesson: we should recognize the nerve cell, and we can draw label diagram for the neuron and differentiate between neuron structure and the structure of other animal cells. Finally, identify the parts of neuron and the function of each part. So let's go to the explanation. First, what is the nerve cell or what is the neuron? The neuron is the word of the nerve cell. Also, they are equal, nerve cell or neuron. You can say the nerve cell or you can say the neuron. So the nerve cell or the neuron is the unit of structure and function of the nervous system. That means the nervous system, the brain and spinal cord and the nerves, they are all built upon the nerve cell or the neuron. The nervous system unit of structure is the neuron. The unit for doing the function of sensation also is the neuron. This is meaning the unit of structure and function of the nervous system. And here you can see the nerve cell as a whole. We are going to talk about each structure in the nerve cell. The structure of the neuron or the structure of the nerve cell, we can divide the nerve cell into two parts. First part is the cell body and second part is the cell processes. So the neuron divided into two parts, cell body and the cell process. We are going now to know what is the cell body. First part of the neuron is the cell body. You can also say the cell body or the cyton. Both these two words explain the same thing, cell body or the cyton. The cyton consists of, number one, as any cell contain nucleus, which exists in all animal and plant cells, and one is very important for all biological activities inside the cell. Number two, the cytoplasm, and we can say neuroplasm, related to the nervous system and the neuron. And this cytoplasm contains all the cell organelles that you can find inside any other cell, except very, very important structure, which is the centriole. So you can see in the cytoplasm mitochondria, Golgi body, and in ribosomes, all the cell organelles and the nucleus, except the centrioles or the centrosome. Really, dear students, do you know what is the function of the centriole or the centrosome? These centrioles and centrosome is helping in the cell division. So this part is very important for the neuron, and related to the absence of this centriole or the centrosome, the neuron or the nerve cells cannot divide. This is the main difference between the nerve cell and the other cells, that the nerve cells cannot divide and due to the absence of the centriole or the centrosome. Also, you can find inside the cytoplasm a very important granules which exist only in the nerve cell or the neuron, which are called Nifl granules. And scientists thought that these Nifl granules store food for the nerve cell. and is only found inside the nasal granule. Now the second part of the neuron or the nerve cell is the cell process. These cell process or the parts of the nerve divided into two parts. Number one, dendrites and the axon. Dendrites, they are many shorts, you can see them coming out from the cell body, and these dendrites are very important to connect the nerve cell with other cells and increase the surface area for the receiving nerve impulses, and also through these dendrites the nerve impulses transfer from one cell to another or enter the nerve cell through the dendrites. All nerve impulses enter the nerve cell through these dendrites or the small branches which comes out from the nerve. Second part of cell process is the axon. The axon also is called nerve fiber. This axon or the nerve fiber, it is an extension of the cytoplasm coming out from the nerve cell or from the cell body. It is a long cytoplasmic extension of the nerve cell, and it is very, very important and to understand that the nerve fiber or the axon may extend about more than 1 meter, and this axon is surrounded by fatty sheath or fatty substance or covered by fatty substance called myelin sheath. It is very, very important for transferring also the nerve impulses. These fatty substance or myelin sheath is secreted by a group of cells which are called Schwann cells. There are some parts of the axon not covered by myelin sheath and called nodes of Ranvier. The axon also ends by small branches called terminal arborization. Now we are going to talk about very important reasons about the structure of the nerve cell. The first question and very important question is the nerve cell cannot divide. Do you remember why? Because the nerve cell has no centriole or no centrosome, because these centrioles help during the cell division. So the nerve cells cannot divide due to the absence of the centrosome. Second important question is the presence of nasal granules in the nerve cells. Also have said the nasal granules, the scientists thought these nasal granules store food for the nerve cells. So the nasal granules store food for the nerve cells. The third very important question is nerve impulses in myelinated axons are much more rapid, much more fast than in non-myelinated axons. This is because the myelinated axon is covered by myelin sheath, which acts as insulator. These students, you can see in our daily life, we cover the electric wire by plastic, because the plastic is an insulator substance. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered the axons by myelinated fatty substance, which acts also as insulators, which help to transfer the nerve impulses. And we are going to talk about the nerve impulses, which is a group of electric impulses travel through the nerve cells and the axon. A very important note. Number one, the speed of nerve impulses is faster in myelinated axons than non-myelinated axons due to the presence of myelin sheath. And second important note, that the nerve impulse transfer in the nerve cell in one direction, from the dendrites to the cell body, and then to the axon, and from the axon to the other cell. So the nerve impulses transfer in one direction only. The structure of the nerve cell, as you can see on the drawing. The first part of the nerve cell is the cell body. This is as all cells contain cell body surrounded by cell membrane and containing the very important part, which is the nucleus. Yes, and the cell contains also the cytoplasmic or neuroplasma due to neuron or related to the neuron. And here you can see the very important granules, which are called methyl granules. And here the nerve cell is characterized by these small branches which comes out from the cell body to connect the nerve cell with other cells, and through which also the nerve impulses transfer and go enter the cell body. And here you can see the very important part of the cell body, which is the axon. And this axon is surrounded by very important part, which is the myelin sheath, and the myelin sheath is a fatty substance surrounding the axon. Here you can see the axon is the blue part, you can see extend from the cell body inside all, and this yellow color is the sheath or the cover, like the what to say, covering the axon. And then you can see these cells are called Schwann cells, which secrete the fatty substance or the myelin sheath. And you can see here there are some parts not covered by myelin sheath. These parts are called Ranvier nodes, and these not covered by myelin sheath. At the end of the axon there are terminal urbanization, which connects the nerve cell with the sensory organs or the muscles in the sensory organs. Let's summarize what we have studied. Number one, the neuron is the functional and structural unit of the nerve system. Number two, the neuron consists of cell body and cell process. These cell processes include dendrites and axons. And here this is the illustration for the nerve cell. Dear students, are you ready to answer the quiz? Now, dear students, let's do the following quiz. First question, write scientific term. The structure and functional unit of the nervous system. This is the nerve cell. The small branches come out from the cell body through which nerve impulses transfer to the cell body. These are the dendrites. Granules that characterize nerve cell from other animal cells. These are methyl granules. The outer cover of the axon is the myelin sheath. Cells that secrete the myelin sheath, they are Schwann cells. Now you can answer the following question. Label the following diagram. This diagram about the nerve cell, and you can draw alone. But number one, this is the cell body. Number two, the nucleus. Number three, the methyl granules. Number four, the cytoplasm. Number five, the dendrites. Number six, the axon. Number seven is myelin sheath. Number eight is Schwann cell. Number nine, Ranvier nodes. Number 10, terminal urbanization. Now, dear students, you can, if you have any question, you can ask and inquire on the following email. Connect this ahmed@yahoo.com or Jamal Hussein in Nafham.